A traffic nightmare on the Capitol Beltway. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Well, if you've been out there, it has been an emotional day for local first responders. They're called to a major crash on the Beltway and then find that several of their colleagues are seriously injured. Our Makia Turner has been working the story all day long, and it has just been a nightmare out there.
It has been, and I'm telling you, it's a tough day for firefighters and travelers on the road, as there was just hours of gridlock after this morning's collision. Officials told us today that around 3 a.m. this morning, they were leaving a nearby accident along Route 50 when they were traveling southbound along Interstate 495, where they attempted to make an emergency U-turn using the emergency lane. Now, that is according to a preliminary investigation. As I just said, the crash happened earlier this morning. The incident involved a fire truck, SUV, and tractor trailer. Also, we found out that the firefighters were from the West Lanham Hills Fire Station, and 4 of the 7 people injured were in fact volunteers with the county. According also to preliminary details, officials believe that the tractor trailer did in fact rear end engine 828 there. As of now, no one has been assigned at fault for the incident. 3 civilians have been released from the hospital, and 3 firefighters have also been released this afternoon. The last firefighter remains in the hospital, and we're told that he'll be undergoing hours of surgery. Police say this case could take days or even up to weeks to solve.
All right, well, it's a tough commute for our viewers out there. Thank you, Makia. And we're going to follow up with this story. Like Makia said, it is a tough day for firefighters throughout the county, especially those at the West Lanham Hills Fire Station, where all 4 injured volunteers worked. Now, earlier today, officials reported that 3 of the 4 firefighters involved in this morning's accident were released from Prince George's Hospital. Unfortunately, 1 remains hospitalized, and according to a spokesperson, the firefighter was transported to Union Memorial Hospital in Baltimore for what's being called a significant injury. Now, Prince George's Assistant Fire Chief Alicia Francis says it's a somber day for the department.
It's a pretty somber mood now at the station as well throughout the department. And as you know, as firefighters, we're a very close-knit family, so we're all taking it very seriously. You know, everyone's reaching out. But right now, we're giving them some space to be together, and then we're right there for them in our sisterhood and brotherhood.
Now, the firefighter has not been identified. Well, meanwhile, Governor Martin O'Malley laid out his vision for Maryland in his annual State of the State address today. As Denise Douglas reports from the State House, O'Malley says more jobs and educational opportunities will help move the state forward.
But as we emerge from the toughest of economic times,
Governor Martin O'Malley says the state is strong and growing stronger. In his annual speech in the legislature, he praised the people of Maryland for climbing out of the economic recession.
when faced with the adversity of the national recession, the people of our state did not make excuses. Instead, they started businesses. They enrolled in night school. They made difficult decisions around the kitchen table about how to do more for their children.
And he went on to build on familiar themes like job creation and educational opportunities.
There's still too many moms and dads in Maryland who are out of work, who are still searching for work. Therefore, this year's budget is a jobs budget. It invests in 43,000 jobs.
The governor is right on point.
Still, Senator Joanne Benson says she is concerned about our transportation infrastructure. In his speech, the governor said the area's traffic problems are the worst in the country.
We need to roll up our sleeves and find the resources to pay for our problems with transportation. Whether that, I don't know whether we're going to have to revert to doing some taxes. Whatever we have to do, we need to get it done.
We can figure this out together for every citizen of our state, and we can do it now and in this session. Or all of us are going to waste more time and money sitting in more and worse traffic.
The governor also called on lawmakers to take bold steps on a number of issues, including repealing the death penalty.
Obviously, I'm a very big supporter of the death penalty repeal. Happy that he mentioned that again today.
Overall, Delegate Aisha Braveboy says the governor's agenda is ambitious, but she is hopeful they'll get to many of the key issues as the session kicks into high gear. Denise Douglas, CTV News.
Well, you may recall 4 years ago this week, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act was passed, overturning the statute of limitations for women to contest pay discrimination. Today, Senator Barbara Mikulski, along with fellow Democrats, reintroduced the Paycheck Fairness Act, which would prohibit employers from retaliating against those who disclose or inquire about pay.
The fact that women continue to be discriminated against and economically harassed and economically punished if they even ask, how much do the guys get paid? So if you're standing at the water cooler, if you go to your HR, human resources, and say, what do I get? If Georgette asks what I get, and she wants to know what George gets, she could be punished, she could be fired, she could be penalized. She could be isolated for being too aggressive. Haven't we heard that, Madam Chair? Too uppity. My God, daring to ask, what does George get paid?
Now, the Paycheck Fairness Act was first introduced last year, but fell 7 votes shy of the 60 needed to bring it to the Senate floor. And according to the Institute for Women's Police Research, women take home 77 cents for each dollar earned annually by a man. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava.